Hey, this is Russell back again with today's episode of Civilization 5. This is like the 12th episode of this series. We're playing as Byzantium, Theodora. And yeah, it's on Sven's Europe Civ Traits mod for those who are just jumping in. And we have conquered our side of the Mediterranean. We've subjugated our latest victim, Egypt, but we have some work ahead of us for that area. We have to kind of secure the area around it with our troops, make sure that we have like a sort of wall against the barbarians. We also have to bring workers down there and start developing all of the land to make sure that it's usable, that the cities can start growing with it and everything. We want to get some good population there so that it can actually contribute to the empire. And yeah, at this point, I have set my sight on just trying to push through the tech trade, developing my land that I already own. I have more than double the score of the person behind me, so I'm not really worried unless someone goes on a successful conquering spree. I pretty much have this game in the bag, so I think like the only thing I can really do is, just play a little responsive to anyone who might be coming up behind me, but at the end of the day, that is very unlikely on Prince difficulty. Um, so yeah, there isn't really too much to worry about at this point in the game. Um, I do need to keep my eyes open, but yeah, things are coming up pretty well. Um, there is a barbarian encampment on that little border near Jerusalem and all of that. So yeah, that has to be taken care of eventually. Um, Going through and purchasing tons of buildings, and that's probably what I'm gonna do with like most of the cities down here. Um, just because building all the buildings will take a while, but if I can like purchase the buildings so that they can grow quickly and everything, so that they can prosper down here, then that would be perfect. The only cities that I still have kind of puppeted are cities I've either forgotten about or I'm waiting for the resistance to kind of die down at. I do have the happiness to kind of annex all the cities, but there's no point in annexing cities that can't do anything until the resistance is done. Just kind of takes away from. Actually, I wouldn't take away from the Golden Age ticker at this point, just because with the Golden Age, because the Golden Age is already going on. So yeah, normally you wouldn't want to do that because your happiness is what dictates how quickly you get your next Golden Age. But yeah, that isn't really an issue at the moment. So I'm kind of playing this game on autopilot. Um, by doing that with my cities and everything. But it's one of those things where let's see which one I would go for here. I don't remember. Local happiness makes sense. A ton of sense, actually. Yep, that's probably the one. So, that makes our happiness even crazier. But yeah, you want to have high happiness because it'll bring you to your next golden age faster. That's what determines your next golden age. For every excess happiness, it's a point ticking to your next golden age. And when you reach a certain threshold of points, and the threshold keeps going up and up as you get like later in the game, like for every golden age you have, it goes up. Um, so yeah, so you want to be like the happiest nation, and the key to doing that is having a very good tourism and ideology that basically is not going to cause any resistors. And going freedom with 60 plus 60 tourism, at this point in the game is a pretty solid way to guarantee that you're not going to be the one having resistors, that everyone else is going to have resistors. Make that 62 tourism now. And I haven't even really done a lot to min-max it, if anything. Actually, I'm kind of looking at that now, seeing if I can get some theming bonuses going on. Theming bonuses, basically, there's like a series of combinations. You can see I'm kind of mousing over and reading which combinations will work and which ones won't. So I'm kind of putting all of those combinations there to make sure that we can get the proper theming bonus. If you don't have all of the combinations that you need, typically you can kind of trade with other nations to try to get those, or you just have to kind of wait it out until you get a new great work that will fit that criteria. So yeah, see, I'm putting a writing, for example, up for trade, and that one will allow us to meet the requirement for that thing, the Great Library. So we can put that one there, and then I have to find something. There you go, and there we go. An extra +2 tourism. We also have the Constantinople one. Come on, you can do it. Actually, I don't have any other great writings. There you go. But actually I do from that one, which is getting a theming bonus. So there you go. Will that work? Sometimes the theming bonuses are a little confusing. Because it's at 1.25 speed, it's hard for me to kind of read which theming bonus is which. But yeah. So you can see they all have like their own little titles and stuff. Huckleberry Finn was there. Adds a little bit of flavor to the game. It looks like, yeah, okay, that was the one I needed to get that one to work. But now I lost the theming bonus on Thebes because I traded away that other thing. So now I have to add a new one there. There we go, another +2. So now we're sitting at 64 tourism. Unfortunately, we are lacking what we need for the Broadway one, it looks like. Because we have so many similar era great works. So we have to kind of wait for the next era for that. We are doing some exploring with our privateer, kind of sailing around Ireland. We're not far off from satellites too, so eventually, like, we won't have to worry about exploring much anymore. But it is nice to do the exploring right now, just because if we do run into any city states, it means we'll actually be able to discover them and build relations with them. Because if you do satellites, you don't discover any of the city states. Like, you don't make diplomatic contact with city states you see from satellites. Like, I had to sail next to Dublin in order to discover Dublin, so that I could befriend them as a city state later in the game. So yeah, pretty important stuff to do. We have units that are walking around. We have horses charging pikes, which isn't the most ideal, but I mean, you get a bonus against barbarians, and it's hard combat strength is significantly higher, and so it's fine to do that. We do have to move those units away. We kind of bit off more than we can chew with our cataphract there. But we are taking full advantage of our special units this game. Not really full advantage, actually. I should take that back. We probably would have needed to go to war more to do that. But we've taken a decent amount of advantage out of them. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this game. It's my first time playing as the Byzantines, and I think the religious bonus went a good ways, and all the other little things that we've been able to do. Like we've used their special ship, we used their special horse, and not for like an amazing impact, but a pretty decent one. We're kind of gonna do a hit and run here, so there was no way that we would have gotten the better of that engagement, but we can run away with that unit after we do the engagement. So that will give us the advantage, because now we'll be able to heal up for a couple of turns and then hit them again, which will then, be advantageous for us. So that was the move that we just pulled off there. That was taking machine guns or Gatling guns and pointing it at a ton of people's swords and shooting them. There was nothing very elegant about that. Unless you're a big fan of, was it The Last Samurai or Follow the Samurai? I think it was The Last Samurai. I know one of those is like the name of a Total War campaign in Shogun 2, and the other is the name of the movie. Um, and I'm a bit out of it right now, so I can't remember which one it is. We have more building purchases in order to make this city good. And we also have to remember to take it off of gold focus and put it on a default focus if it's going to be good as well. When a city is puppeted, it goes into gold focus. I guess that's the way of the game just kind of making it so that puppeted cities don't do much. Which, it's kind of weird. It really does leave kind of a sour taste in the mouth for gold focus. Like, I find because that city states prioritize that, like, I never tend to prioritize using gold focus in any of my cities. I've always switched between default focus, food focus, and production focus. And then if I've ever wanted more science or more culture or a great people or anything like that, then I would just kind of set everything to manual specialist control and focus those down. I would never, I never really like choose any of those other options. I've never really used the faith focus either, I think. Now that I'm looking at it, which is interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about faith focus because I don't know what faith focus would focus on after faith. Like, I'm sure unless you have like the desert or the tundra pantheon, that you're gonna run out of faith tiles pretty fast. So then would it just go to default focus for all the rest of your citizens after that? That's a question I never mess with faith focus, so I don't know if it's very good. I guess you could have other pantheons too, which is like, improvements that give faith. But still, it just doesn't sound very appealing using faith focus. I mean, we're, never used faith focus this game, and look at our faith. We've got like 300 faith per turn now. It was just a little bit below that last turn. And we have plenty of faith, so yeah. We have this amazing charge again going in, and now we're getting the better of the exchanges because we did take the time to heal. And yeah, we're queuing up some more happiness buildings. Not that they're gonna do too much at this point, but it helps, especially if we want to keep growing our population. Happiness goes fast when it does, have that big population explosion. So it is important to stockpile it. And yeah, so I'm waiting a couple turns every turn to kind of go through and purchase the buildings in all of these cities. I think that's what I'm doing actually. I shouldn't be doing this. But I'm basically waiting to unpuppet the cities until I can purchase stuff. In my opinion, now that if it wasn't a golden age, that's a good tactic. But because it is like a golden age, it doesn't really make much sense what I'm doing. Because there's no need to really preserve the happiness, at this point. Because the excess happiness bonus is not really like a thing right now. When you're already in the middle of a golden age, that's the whole point of the golden age is you already met that requirement, and now you don't really have to worry about meeting that requirement until the golden age is over. I hope that makes sense. I think I explained that sufficiently. But if you didn't, feel free to leave a comment in the description of the video asking me for clarifications on how golden ages work and such. So yeah, I'm purchasing a few buildings to make things go. Looking at getting aqueduct, that's good. That'll let the city grow faster. Stadium, more happiness never hurt anyone. Another stadium, more happiness never hurt anyone. Looking at getting a castle. I love getting the wonder near Schwenstein. Uh, when I get railroads, and that's going to be a big wonder. Yeah, we also are getting railroads when we get railroads, and that's going to be pretty important as well. That'll allow us to travel. Will be a railroad. Right now, at this point, if I was to send units from, say, I don't know, uh, Constantinople to Alexandria, which we are going to rename pretty soon, by the way. I believe this session or next session we start renaming the cities. To be a little more historically accurate, not amazingly. Um, right now, the most expedient route from like Constantinople to Alexandria is probably via ocean, like by like having my guy embark and crossing the Mediterranean that way. Having railroads would make that be the most expedient way. It'd make me be able to get to different places much faster. Um, so yeah, and especially when going inland, like you're gonna have like Asia Minor and Egypt. There, if you wanted to go inland on those places, from say where Varna is right now to Thebes or something like that, that's going to be very important to going uh, inwards. So yeah, I'm actually renaming these cities to a bit more Roman names, and names that are kind of part of the Roman Empire at the time, that are just a little regionally accurate, but not amazingly. Of course, I can't name that one until I've renamed the other Alexandria, so I have to put that off for a second. Or maybe I don't rename that one Alexandria. We'll see. Parantonium. We have that one Alexandria, which has to be renamed to something a bit more historically accurate. I'm pretty sure like I was playing, 2-monitor setup at the time, so I had like a map that I pulled up from Google on one side, and was renaming, of course, on this side. So we have Palais. No, maybe South Palestine. No, they can't even spell Palestine. Well, that's a bit of a cheating Palestina. That's a bit of a cheating name, but oh well. And again, this is like, thinking like Roman provinces, not like modern day locations. Alexandria and Thebes, I think that was actually renamed to, yeah, look at that. So it's still Thebes, but it's like Greek Thebes. There we go, Thea. And yeah, so we've kind of renamed all of the cities. We basically have a very, not very, somewhat accurate naming for the different locations of our cities. Probably could have done a bit better, but I'm not going like too crazy on that. I just pulled up a map and started naming stuff. So yeah, we've pretty much whittled down that guy, and we've also kind of blocked him from being able to pillage another tile in the coming turn. It was unfortunate that he got to pillage that one tile, but he can't do any more damage. We have our rifleman there now blocking him from getting to any other tile anytime soon, so we'll be able to finish him off quite easily. We have our lancer here who can fortify until healed, and then do what he has to do against barbarians. And yeah, railroad is 5 turns away. That's going to be pretty significant for us and for our development as a country. We have a good 1,000 plus science per turn, which can be drastically increased by both A, increasing the population, and B, building all the science buildings down like in the southern half of my empire now, and the other places that might be lacking some. But again, no pressure. We are well ahead of everyone else. And yeah, we do see that there are some wars going on. There's some pop-ups of people losing capitals and stuff. Um, so yeah, very significant stuff. Very insignificant stuff, I should say. My bad. Compared to what's going on. The only thing I really have to watch for is like, again, someone might go on a conquest spree and become very powerful very quickly, but that power is, going to be like not going to be able to stand up for me for a while after they go on the conquest spree because they're going to have to rebuild their armies and all of that. So if someone starts going on the conquest spree, it is going to be my job to counter it. But again, that doesn't look like it's a thing that's going to happen. It doesn't look like anyone's snowballing besides me. And while people are still packing up their snowballs to throw down the mountain and let them roll down the mountain, mine's already halfway down the mountain. So we're in a pretty good spot. Turn 413, which is pretty good. 1806, 1808 now, and we're getting close to railroads. The Byzantine Empire didn't exist at this time. I guess you can say Greeks was, existing, but in a sense, but yeah. And yeah, we have the Swedes. Their faction I have not played. Again, I have not played as the God and Kings factions yet, and of course, that's why I'm kind of focusing on these factions. The one after this series is going to be Spain. And I'm not sure which one I'm going to do next, when I'm going to do another series next. I haven't recorded a series after the Spanish one yet, but yeah. You can see how the rate by which Casimir is kind of growing in score. And yeah, it's slower than me. So, nothing to worry about there. If they would take over Russia and Mongolia, then maybe they'd be a threat. Or take over Germany. Germany especially is very good, territory and all of that, but yeah, they're not a threat. We got Laodicea. Pretty accurate location. Not 100%. It's pretty impossible to get like everything 100% accurate in terms of building locations, but city locations. But yeah, trying to think. So we have all the city connections we need. Probably could make better city connections. Like everything is kind of like winding a bit, like with all of these roads. But other than that, it's not bad. At least we're getting the city connections. And yeah, the cities are growing. We're not too far off the end of this video. I forget how long it is exactly. I think it was like 26, 27 minutes long. But yeah. Have a guy guarding the worker as he builds the oil well. Of course, the other oil well is going to have to be repaired, but no rush to do that at the moment. You're not really building anything with oil. We're not really thinking about military or navy or anything at this point, where our military is already enough to just kind of act as a deterrent. And if we needed a military to counteract someone, and that is, coming up behind us, then we should be able to build it pretty quickly. So I'm going to watch those scores actually real fast, because 969, Casimir. And their score goes up on their turn by 1 point. So not very significant. Ours is 1957. And next turn, our score is going up by... Let's see. I think it was 6 points, maybe? I forget. I don't even remember what my score was. That's how tired and blanked out I am right now. but it's all good. Time to start building all those railroads, and hopefully building this Neuschwanstein Castle as well, which is one of the best wonders of the game, if not the best. One of the best. I don't know. I don't know. When I think through it, I don't 100% know what would be the best wonder in the game, in my opinion. Like the early game stuff, pyramids and hanging gardens are extremely good, and as much as possible in most games, you want to go for both by going both tradition and liberty. It's not what I do in all my games. In fact, I think the next game I don't go for both. I don't remember though off the top of my head completely, but I mean I do remember kinda, but um, yeah, I don't think I go for tradition on that one. We'll see though. I'll be able to commentate over it. I'll probably watch that video series again before commentating over it, so that I have a bit more of a I remember what happened and everything. And yeah, we've got Neuschwanstein Castle queued. So, caravanserai, not gonna cost me anything. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. You see we're on our way to Research Labs, which is going to be the last big kickoff for our science. And yeah, like, comment, favorite, subscribe if you guys want to see more. Always appreciate any feedback in the comment section below, how I can play the game better, or just what you guys think in general of the series if you like it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a good one, and God bless. Bye. Like, favorite, and subscribe if you guys want to see more. Always interested in your feedback down in the comment section. You guys have a good one. God bless.